welcome back to today's NAR Realtor Benefit Summit webinar. And if you're just joining us, we're honored to welcome you today, as well as some industry experts who have been updating us and giving us overviews on some NAR member benefits. I'm Callie Waterhouse with the Arizona Association of Realtors, and in just a few minutes, Realtors Property Resource Marketing Manager Lori Gantz will be joining us. If you're unfamiliar with RPR or how it works, this is a great opportunity to get an overview of this powerful resource and to ask questions. Lori is a marketing manager with RPR, and she travels and she teaches and she really knows the ins and outs of RPR and how to use it to grow your business. So get ready just for a great fact-filled webinar. And then following Lori at noontime is Arizona Association of Realtors Senior Vice President of Research and Member Value. Ron LeMay is going to be joining us. And Ron is going to kind of do a member trifecta by talking to us about the .realtor domain. This is the newest domain name that's been released, and how you can use it to brand your business and to really set yourself apart as a realtor. He's also going to be talking about the NAR MVP program and NAR's library. And these are great resources just to have in your toolbox that you can pull out anytime. Maybe you have extra questions, you want to read something, glean some more information. These are the benefits that are good to have just in case. So join us at noontime to talk about those benefits with Ron. And if you have any questions during today's webinar, of course, we will have the question box open. All you have to do is write a question in there, and at the end of Lori's presentation today, in about 30 minutes, we'll be taking those questions, and she would be happy to answer them for you just one-on-one. So please use that box. And so we're just going to go ahead and dive in. I know this is a ton of information. So Lori, welcome to today's webinar. Can you hear me?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Lori.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, and Lori, where are you
Just
calling
when you unmuted
from?
me. I'm calling you from Minnesota, and you guys, it's very cold here. In fact, my son's school is called off because it's 32 below zero right now.
Oh my God, say that again. It's how cold?
Well, regular it's 10 below, but with the wind factor, it's 32 below right now.
Oh my stars. Well, I will tell you, it's supposed to be like between 60 and 70 here today. And I have a sweater on because it's cold.
You guys are killing me here.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and for being a part of our webinar. We are just so excited to have you here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. So it's all yours, and thank you so much. And
thank you for having us.
You're welcome. We can see your screen.
You can't? Not yet?
No, we can. You're up.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, great. All right. So, like Callie said, I'm going to dive right into the site and actually get you into the site and show you how to use RPR. I won't do any PowerPoint slides. Just leading up to this, though, just remember that Realtors Property Resource is your member benefit brought to you by NAR, by the Arizona Association of Realtors. It's a free member benefit. You don't pay anything additional to access RPR. Another very important thing to note is there is no public-facing access to RPR. Only Realtor members can access RPR. So again, this is a private benefit just for you as Realtor members. We have over 160 million parcels of property put into RPR, and that includes over 300 points of data. One of those is just your MLS, or is your MLS. Other than that, though, we have mapping, maps put in, public records data, tax, school, driving, demographic information, and it's all put in one spot for you. And what it is meant to do is just to enhance your MLS, to be an additional tool for you to use outside your MLS. I'm going to actually shut my email off because I just got a beep. So once you log into RPR for the first time, and how you do that is you just go to, and I can do that at the end, but you go to narrpr.com and you click register, and you just have to register one time, and it's just going to ping that, ping it off the NAR site to make sure that you're a realtor, and then you're in. It's very easy. But once you're in RPR, this is the home page that you're going to see. It's very simple, really easy page to use, and I'll just show you a couple of the highlights that you need. And again, what I'm going to give you today is an overview, and hopefully that each one of you finds a nugget of information that excites you and gets you back into using this tool. It's a powerful tool, and again, it's a member benefit that's no additional cost to you. Okay, so across the main, right around the middle here is the main tool that, your main search capability in RPR. Real quick, if you get out and you go do some work and you're like, okay, what was Lori talking about? She talks really fast. You can go over here and just watch this quick tutorial video, and we have little videos embedded all throughout RPR that are going to show you each section, and they're really short, and I'll show you how you can find those. So again, right across the middle here is where you're going to do your searching, and you can search for all properties, which is going to include anything that's off market, so pulling from townships, public records, the county, anything like that. You can search for sale, which is going to be pulling directly from your MLS. You can also do a neighborhood search, a market activity search, or you can also search your own listings. Obviously, I don't have any listings because I work for you. When you are in all properties or for sale, you can also go ahead and open this advanced button, and you can dial down your search a little bit more. You can search by homeowner, you can search by tax ID number, any of this good stuff. Just a note for that. Down here, and I'm going to start searching for you in a second, but let me just show you a little bit more about this home page. On the boxes below, you can see your recent property searches, and it just keeps going. You can see just your recent searches, and this is one of 2 places that your most recent reports will be held. I'll show you the other place here shortly. And RPR is really known, besides all of the data in there, the thing that you as members use in there is our reports, and I'll definitely show you our reports. I'm going to go over our RPR mobile app that we recently released, and I'll do that in a little bit here. I like to actually show you the live app from my phone, which I'll show you. And then, of course, we like to put these videos of how your co-realtors, your fellow realtors, are using RPR in their business, because, again, I'm here to tell you about it. I work for you. That's what I'm supposed to do. But it's also awesome for you to hear how your fellow realtors are using RPR in their business, and let's be honest, at the end of the day, to make money. A couple other things, and I'll show you this again at the end. Blog, and that's kind of your go-to spot for anything RPR. But one thing I'd like to show you is we have a couple different help options for you. You can click this help tab or link, and it'll take you to a database. If you're super impatient like myself and you want immediate answers, we have a help desk available for you. And you can go right here to live chat or to the phone number, and that's available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Because we know you guys work some odd hours. I know that you are, in my opinion, you guys are working all the time, but we want to make that available to you all the time, so that is there for you. And in fact, when I have questions, I use it as well. How's that? So that was a quick run through of just the home page. The next thing I'm going to do is just show you some of the search capabilities, and then I'll jump into a property, and then I'll show you a neighborhood, and I'll show you the mobile device. So we're going to go in that order. So the first search I did, to keep it easy, I was just looking in Phoenix, Arizona, and I just chose, and I really wish I was there with you right now. Carly, next time I would like it live presentation. If you could set that up, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
So we'll just jump into Phoenix, and I have a lot of these tabs open up on top. You're going to see me tabbing up there, and I only do that because in case I have an internet tech glitch, I don't want you guys to have to wait for me. So if you see me clicking up here, that's all I'm doing. So I just did a quick search, again in 85007, and just to show you in that zip code, this is our list view. You're going to just see over 4,000 properties pulled up, because remember, that is including anything that's off market, anything recently sold, anything that's maybe in a distressed situation. And those are going to be listed just down the middle for you, and these are each individual parcels of property. And you can see the different statuses, the for sale, the sale pending. This is a for sale, but it's a distressed property, things like that. So again, this is a lot of properties. You might want to refine your search a little bit more, and you can do that a couple ways. You can do it along the left-hand side here, just using the data parameters. you know, just adding in some ranges, some minimums, some maximums, that kind of thing. Or you can also go ahead and use the map view and do some of our mapping capabilities. And you can get to the map view up here where it says map view, or you can go down here to where it says bigger map on the right-hand side. It doesn't matter. It takes you to the same spot. And now we're in our map view. And we have a couple different ways that you can do some research or do, you know, you dial down your search. You can obviously change the view of this map up here, and I won't click on each of these, but, you know, feel free. I like to keep it on the road view because it's easier for you to see some of the things I'm going to show you. So we can zoom in a little bit. You can start to see some of the map pins. Of course, you're not going to see all of them because 4,000 map pins is not going to fit in this little tiny area. But just remember that all those are listed below still as well. So again, just depending on what search you're doing, you can go ahead and do a box search. And it's going to search just in that area. You can save these, by the way. Name those whatever you want. And they're always going to be saved for you under the Saved dropdown. Looks like it reset mine for me. You can also go in a radius. And you can see it's telling you, you know, how far out you're going from a specific area. You can do a polygon. Maybe you don't want that mall. I know I'm being a little wild here, but I know you guys work with some wild and crazy clients. You can also do a distance. You know, great for when you're working with that relocation client and they want to be close to, you know, a hospital or a school or something like that. You can go ahead and search within specific distances. And you can always change that too by clicking back on the map pin and changing, you know, whatever distances you're working with. Let's zoom back in here. You can also go ahead and overlay some of these geographies under this drop-down. And one I'll just show you real quick. You have all these geography options, K through 5th grade. You can go ahead and overlay that and search within specific school districts, or schools, I'm sorry. You can also do districts and just search within specific schools. Another option down here I want to show you quick, and we're still in searching capabilities, guys, is down on the right-hand side of every map that's in here. We have heat maps that you can also use. And heat maps use different color variations to show you differentiations in the data set, just depending on what data you choose. So for this one, we can just choose the first of the top of the 10 that we have here, 12-month change in estimated value. It's going to give you the key on what this means below, and then we can look up on the map, and we can see all the different data variations. And so we can see, you know, the red is a decrease in estimated value, while the deeper blue indicates increase. Then you can also go ahead and go back and use some of these other mapping capabilities we were talking about. So maybe you're working with that quote-unquote investor and they are looking for that deal. I should say quote-unquote deal, not quote-unquote investor. You can go ahead and search within specific pockets of data. And you can search just in that area, for instance. And you can do that with any of these heat maps that you'd like to overlay. So I know that's a real quick overview of that, but make sure you get in there and play around with that. So that was just some of the searching capabilities that we have. I'm going to jump in next right into a property, and I've already pre-selected this property, but not based on anything that I know about it. Obviously, I'm up here in frigid Minnesota, but I just like to go through and find houses that I think are cool and use those as examples. So I chose this property only once in my 3+ years of doing this have I selected someone in the audience's property. So if I have this time, that'll be my second time. Not doing too bad. So for this one, you can see, you know, we have the address. You can save this, and that's going to add to saved. Remember that saved drop down. You can have that there. And what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you all the information on each of these 5 tabs, because each of these 5 tabs is going to be in every single property on RPR. It doesn't matter if it's for sale, if it's in foreclosure, if it's pulling from public records. Each property is going to have each of these 5 tabs. The only thing that might be missing is if Obviously, this one's an active listing, so any active listing information is obviously not going to be on a property that's off the market. But that being said, you're going to still be able to look at that that historical active information and what that, and I'll show you what that means here in a second. So again, this one is for sale, and we can see the list price. And then next to it, we see this RVM. What is an RVM? You're going to see an AVM or an RVM on almost every property in RPR. So if you're familiar with AVMs, an automated valuation model, that is a valuation given to a property based on public records data only. You can see valuations given to, your properties on any of the public-facing sites that you can see. What an RVM is a realtor valuation model. And we've taken that public records baseline data and layered on top of it what we know is much more accurate often, and that's your MLS data, used our own algorithm and created an RVM, a realtor valuation model. This RVM is only available to you as a realtor. AVMs have proven to be within 10% of the selling price, around 62% of the time. The RVM is proven to be within 10% of the selling price either way, over 90% of the time. So you can see that it's much more accurate. And these are coming from stats, the 60% stats coming directly from sites that carry AVMs. So just to show you that. The great thing about this, though, at RPR is because, again, both the AVM and RVM are created from data, which is fantastic, right? But at the end of the day, you as the local expert knows more, and often knows more, or knows something different about the property. So we leave that option in there, that last layer of the cake, where you can go in and refine the data and refine the RVM for your client, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a couple minutes. But I like to point that out because I truly believe that you as the local experts need to have that last say in what this valuation is, and you have that option. I'm not going to click on these two right now because we're going to do that up here. We can see some basic facts of the property. We can see the RVM estimated range and our confidence score. There's a lot of data in here, guys. You're going to start asking, where did that come from? How do they know that? What does that mean? In every section, you're going to see these little information icons that you can hover over, or you're going to be able to click on these live links, which take you to some of those short videos I was telling you about. And all the videos are really short, and they're only on that topic that you're, RVM. So you can go back and you're going to learn just about using an RVM in a pricing discussion. Or you're going to also see these about links that you can pop open. And again, it's going to tell you where that data came from and how often it's updated. So just a quick sidebar on that. Property analysis for investors, just a really cool tool. I'm not going to stop on that, but you're going to find this on every summary page, no matter, again, what the status of the property is. And you can pop that open and use that for your investor clients, because when you're working with them, it's a business transaction. Unlike if you're working with me and I'm your client, it's an emotional purchase, right? It's my home, blah, blah, blah. The property analysis for investors tool, it's going to pull in all of that business data that they need, returns, caps, all of that kind of stuff. So make sure you get in there and check that out as well. We love our maps. You can also pop open a map and just see what's going on in this immediate neighborhood around this property. I don't know why it's not pulling up. It just pulled up for me earlier. But what it will do is pull up each of the map pins on here and give you the status of each property around it. I'm not sure why it's not pulling it up right now. I'm sorry about that. Then we're going down, and we can, we have the listing description, and we have photos. We do keep the historical photos. Over here, historical records for the property. Again, remember I said even if this property is off market and we have the historical listing information, you can go ahead and compare that, put that side by side next to what you have now, either an active listing or if it's off the market, and I'll show you how that works. I'm just going to put these side by side. So you can see the current listing as next to how it was listed in 2000, so 15 years ago. That's pretty cool. Of course, we can see our listing agent information. We're still on the summary page, guys. So we have our homeowner facts, and then below we can see our home facts. And what you're going to see is our public records facts listed next to the listing facts. If the listing is not an active listing, this won't be here anymore. But the next thing I want you to see is these blank spots. Remember I said you as the local expert has to have the opportunity to make changes to this record as you see fit. This is one of the places that you can start to do that. you can go ahead and put in changes that, or things about this property that you know are different from either the public facts or the listing facts. When you save those changes, just know that those save for you only. This does not go system-wide because this is your homework, this is your knowledge. Then we start to see some of the trending data, our estimated home value, our median estimated home value, price change, history, listing details, and then features, details. And of course, I'm not going to stop on each of these. You guys can see this. I do like to stop on the schools. We have the school information implemented. And a lot of times, like you'll see on this record, it's hyperlinked. And you can click directly on the link to go to the school information. And we get our school information from Great Schools. And it's going to give you all of that data, you know, our map, of course, other properties within this school. You can click on the reviews. I won't do that, but I just want to make sure that you've seen that. If you are in a case, though, where you see it's not hyperlinked, like this one is not hyperlinked, that's okay. All you need to do is go up here under the schools and find that school within our list. So you have the information no matter what. Then we have financing after information, you know, homeowner information, mortgage, and tax record summaries if we have that. So that is just the summary page. Next, I'm going to click on the history page. It's going to give you a white screen just for a second, but it'll catch up to me. And now I'm on this history tab. And the history tab is a great, kind of like, you know, Wizard of Oz type of thing, a peek behind the curtains to see what's been going on with this property as far as listing, selling, financing, distress, anything like that. And the first thing that you see is our sales and financing activity grid. And again, don't forget that you can always pop open about this data and see what this information is about. But across the top is the key of the possible items that you can see on this graph. And you can see this is the change in estimated value. We can see some listing activity. We can see assessor's activity. If you see like the blue dollar signs, that's financing activity. Distress sign, you know, lines going through it, that is going to be when it's been in distress. So just a cool tool. You can always put notes on anything that you know about this that you're going to want to carry over into your reports for yourself or for your client. We can see other sales transactions, and you can toggle back and forth between public records and MLS. Sometimes they have the same, sometimes one has more. It's just great that you have the opportunity to have both. We have our tax assessment info, and you can toggle back as far as many years as we have it. It's like for you, or for this particular instance, we have back 7 years, if I can do math. And then we also have mortgage information. And that is the history tab. Next is our charts and graphs. And again, you're going to see a little bit of a white screen while it catches up to me. That's the one downfall of having my screens open. I'm not going to spend too much time on charts and graphs, but I just want to show you that it's here. And you know, depending on whatever research you're doing, what project you're working on, it's a great amount of data and information here for you. And again, don't worry about not knowing what this means. You can click open about this data, and it's going to give you what this chart means, where it came from, and how often it's updated. So you can just see things like median estimated home value versus median listing price. You can change the parameters that you're working with. You can hover over the line to see specific points of data. Again, you can change the parameters. You know, median listed price versus listing volume. These are really great when you're working with pricing homes. And then, you know, listing inventory, distressed properties, median sales price by square foot, price per square foot. This one is always interesting to me, but I find it, I guess it's very useful. Price per bedroom of square of home sold, etc. Next, we're going to refine the value, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time on that. let that catch up to me. Oh, sorry. Something I have ready for a little bit just blinked at me. Okay, so refine the value tab. This again, remember what I said, you can go in and refine the valuation of a property. So you have an RVM, but again, that's made of data, a lot of great data, but you as the local expert needs to be able to go in and put your touch on that if you feel needed. The first thing you can do to refine the data is adjust the basic home facts. Remember, you may have already done this on the summary page. If you have, then it's going to carry over here for you. And again, these changes or these refinements are only for you. They're not going to go system-wide. You can refine the value based on home improvements. I think this is a really cool tool. What you can do is if there's been updates or additions made to the home, or on the flip side, if you're working with a seller and they're thinking about doing updates or additions, you can give them an accurate assessment or a value based on those home improvements, on what they did and when they did it. And the super cool thing is this is down to the zip code level, because we know a bathroom remodel in Phoenix, Arizona is probably going to be valued a little bit higher than a bathroom remodel where I am in Albertville, Minnesota right now. So it has to be to the zip code level, and it is. So just to show you, we can, again, I said bathroom remodel. Let's click on that one, upscale. It's going to give you a description of that. And then we can go in and choose, let's say we did it 2 years ago, the date completed, and that our homeowner spent $10,000 on that. We can tell them now, after 2 years in this area, depreciation, et cetera, your investment is giving you a valuation return or an increase of about $5,300. So just a really cool tool for you to make valuation changes on those home improvements. And then you can see up here how our changes are starting to stack up. And then lastly, we can also refine the value based on market and home conditions, because again, you're the one in this market working. We can say our home conditions are hotter. I don't know this property, so I'm not dogging on it. I'm just saying, the lot size is not as great as comparable properties, and thus the view is not as great, and the privacy is not as great. Something like that. Oh, but the exterior of this property is amazing. You can go ahead and make those changes, and you can see how it's changing the valuation of your property, and it's also changing it up here for you. So also a really cool tool for you to use, and you can see it's very easy to use. And then last tab, comps analysis. This is a really cool tool. I talk to a lot of people who this is what they use now for their CMA type needs. And again, I'm still on the same property. You can see a summary of the property we're using. We have 2 different comparative analysis tools for you to use. I'm going to highlight the first one, the comparative analysis, build an estimate based on comps. Also, kind of like a traditional CMA, but really super easy to use. The second one, the sales comparison analysis, also called the workflow for appraisers. That's a really, really in-depth tool. You can add valuations to specific parts of a property, add in things like wine cellars or, anything really, unique. You can make sure to add those in and do your comps analysis from that. If you want to learn a little bit more about what's the difference between the two, you can go ahead and just watch this video right here. Okay, for the first one though, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to confirm the home facts. And yes, my cat decided just now to jump up on my desk. So we can confirm our home facts, and you have your public records and your listing data. And again, you can make changes as you see fit. Again, if you've made changes along the way, those will carry over here. We're going to confirm our home facts. And now we're going to find comps. There's a couple different ways you can find comps. First of all, if you know you have a property that you want to put side by side with this, you don't need to try to manipulate your variables to get that in. You can go ahead and just add that address or the MLS listing ID number and add that to go next to it. We can also search for properties, and we can search a couple different ways. We can use the data variables on the left-hand side, or we can go ahead and use some of our mapping capabilities that we've already talked about, or we can put these two together by starting with the data, and I'll just hit search. I'm just going to leave it wide open as it is. And now we see properties on the map. You can go ahead and use some of those mapping capabilities if you'd like, or you can see them all listed below. Very easy. I'm just going to select a couple of these. And you can see them list start to add up over here on the right-hand side. And I'm randomly selecting these because don't laugh at me at my selection. I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to update my valuation. I'm going to close. Okay, so now we have the average of our comps and the result of our comps analysis. But you might want to go in and adjust those comps that you've selected, and you have the opportunity to do that. So I've gone and I'm on step 3. You can see how fast this is going. You can also choose which record you want to show in your comps analysis. You can change the order of the comps as well. And you can also, change the photos, make them smaller, make them bigger, show whichever photo you'd like to use. Then also you can go down here and again use these slider scales to say how you feel this property compares against your subject property. So we're going to say for this one's a little better. I'm going to leave this one the same, but this one I feel is not as great. And then you can go ahead and add notes about why you made these changes or whatever you'd like on each property. We can update our valuation and close. And now we have a result of our comps analysis. Again, just depending on market to market or even client to client, you can go ahead and you can edit if you want to put in a more even number or a number that you think, or I've been in places where somebody says, I would never put in one solid number. I would only put in a range. We'll go ahead and put in a range instead, and or. You can go ahead, save that, and you have the result of your comps analysis. Okay, I promised you that I would get to the reports. And of course, after all of this work that you've done, what do you want to do with this property? Well, you want to get a report on it, right? What you do is you can go from any property page and hit Get a Report. And that's going to take you to our selection of reports. And we have 6 different reports for you, and they're all listed right here. Property reports, also known as our buyer's report, and that's our most widely used report. You can prop open details, and it's going to show you every single page that is in the report. And also, if you want to hover over the information icon, it's going to give you an example. And you can go ahead and deselect any of these properties or these elements that you do not want included in your report. You can also look at a sample of each report by clicking Show Sample. I won't click on that right now, but so you have your property report, also known as your buyer's report, seller's report, which makes an excellent listing presentation tool, market activity, which is fantastic to put in your open houses, or when you send out your communications to your clients, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever, you can send them a market activity report on the area you're working with them on. Mini property reports is going to be a smaller version of the buyer's report. Neighborhood report, which I'll show you some neighborhood information here shortly. And then your valuation workbook. The valuation workbook is the one that goes hand in hand with that second comps analysis, that workflow for appraisers. So you're only going to use that report in that situation, but definitely get in there and check it out. This is the second place. Remember I said there's one of 2 places that your reports are held for up to 30 days. This would be the second place. We only hold them up for 30, hold them for up to 30 days, but that being said, if you have a market activity report that you like to send out monthly, you can just go into that report, rerun it, and it's going to keep it for you for another 30 days. And then really easy, you can go ahead and just email this report directly from here to your client without having to download a whole bunch of different contacts. So that is our reports. I'm going to just cruise through some neighborhood information because I want to be able to show you the mobile app. And I know I'm getting low on time here. I could talk forever. So for the neighborhoods, from the home page, you can go ahead and search neighborhoods. And what I did, I just put in the same area that we were in for this particular home. And I'll just show you real quick what you can get in the neighborhood information. This is a spectacular tool, particularly if you're working with relocation clients, coming to your area or even leaving your area, because this information is available to you across the country. So it's not just in your area. This is available to you across the United States, so you can work with them on anything. And again, the properties, all those off-market listing information, that's available to you across the United States as well. So first we have our summary, and it's just going to give us information like the median estimated home value and the change over the past month and over the past 12 months, and just a lot of the graphs and grids that we like. The next tab is our housing tab, and that's going to give us our housing specs and stats, and give us things such as occupancy rates, owner versus renter. There, it's finally catching up to me. Again, some of that data on median list price, change in prices, building permits, that kind of thing. Next is our people facts and stats, and that's going to give us our demographic information, that juicy demographic information. That would catch up to me. Here we go. And of course, population, age ranges, male versus female, education, kids, household with kids, income brackets, occupational categories, voting patterns, all of that good stuff. And then economy is going to give us things like unemployment numbers, labor force numbers. And I'm talking quicker than it can catch up. So it's going to give us that information. And then last tab, quality of life. And it's going to give us things like rain, snow, sunshine. This makes me happy, 180 days. That's awesome. Commute time, how people get to work, temperatures, that kind of thing. And you can pull all that into that neighborhood report for your clients. Couple of quick things I'm going to show you. Next, I'm going to show you our mobile app, and then I will be done. And I like to show you my live phone so you can see actually how the mobile app works, not just on some slides. So I'm going to go over here to MobiZen, which is going to mirror my phone for you. Hope I haven't had it sleeping. Okay, so this is my phone right now, you guys. You can see I'm moving it around. You can see Albertville, Minnesota. That's where I am. When you go in, so if you go into the Play Store, if you have an Android or your App Store for your iPhones, you go to RPR Mobile, and it's a free app, of course, and you download it, and it's super cool. You're going to set up you can set up a couple things like how properties within 1 mile of me, that kind of thing. But it's going to give you, like right now, this is showing me what's within a mile of me. Sorry, my phone goes to sleep. And then, still on the home screen, you can see the local market conditions for what's around me. And this changes as you're driving. So if you're driving along and you're in a neighborhood, when you open your app, all of this relevant local data is going to pop up for you. And then also you can go ahead and search. You can go ahead, let me go into our map. So let's just say the 35 properties for sale listed. It's going to give you a map view, or you can do your list view. I'm going to go back to the map, and I want to show you something really cool. You can also use the draw feature, and I'm drawing right on my phone right now, and you can search within a specific area. And then you can sort, you can filter, you can do an advanced search as well, using, again, the homeowner's name, that kind of thing. Let's get into a property. And you guys, a lot of times you get into a mobile application, it's kind of a dumbed-down version of what's on the actual site. This has all of that juicy data that you have on your desktop site. And the best thing is, if you do something on your desktop or you do something on your mobile app, they sync immediately. So all of that homework that you've already done is there. And you can see the photos, it shows all the photos. Right from here, we can go ahead and get a report if you'd like. Do you see that? You can pull up the report. It's the full report like I just showed you, and you can send that to your client directly from the app. We've got our listing details, our source, description, all of that information that was on the desktop site. So it's really cool. You can do a lot of great stuff from here. I definitely recommend downloading this as soon as you set up your RPR site, because this is going to be invaluable to you when you're out on the road, because most of the time you guys aren't sitting behind your desk. You're out there hitting the pavement, and we get that. And so we wanted to make this mobile app as robust and beefy for you as possible. You like that, beefy? Okay, with that, I'm going to stop talking. I know I've gone over my limit a little bit, but I get so excited and I could talk forever. And I'm going to see if anybody has any questions for me.
Lori, you are absolutely right. RPR is robust and beefy. I think even your cat was feeling a little jealous there for a minute.
I'm so sorry about that.
No,
She doesn't want anything to do with me until I'm talking to you guys.
I think that's the inherent nature of cats, too. They just like to be right in the middle of it. Talk to me just a little bit about what sets RPR apart. And you said it at the very beginning, and I really want our members to understand that this information is only available to who?
This information is only available to Realtor members. There is no public-facing access to this data. And again, they don't pay anything additional for it at all. And we even have broker tool sets that I didn't get into, commercial side, that's all there. And even that stuff there's no additional fee or price for that. And again, that's only available to them as well.
I know that some of our GRI instructors, our classes incorporate RPR and how to use it to, do your CMAs and your BPORs. But you have some really incredible reports that our members can build from this. What do you think, just in a wrap-up, the three biggest benefits to realtors who utilize RPR?
Well, the first I think I would say is definitely the reports, and definitely that buyer's report. I mean, we've got people using that all the time. Next, I would say the valuations and the opportunity that they have to work with those valuations. And then also, gosh, all the side data, the neighbor, aside from the MLS data, all that neighborhood information, demographic information, it's just all this other data that they can get in one spot, that makes them the expert, which they are. It puts that, at their fingertips so that they can save time and, obviously money to do their job. Mm-hmm. So I guess I would say those are the top three things.
Okay, and then one of our listeners, Carol, would like to know about the accuracy of the information.
Well, of course, we hope we have the absolute most accurate information. I mean, I guess if there's a specific part she's wondering about, I mean, the MLS data we pull it directly from the MLS. We don't manipulate it or work it at all. We pull from many different sources, and we always put in here what the sources are, over 300 points of data. That being said, we want this to be as accurate for you as possible, of course, 100%. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
I always tell people if they go in and they feel something is not accurate, we want to know, because your members' eyes are so much more valuable than me trying to scour this looking for it. We have a log a bug option over here on every page, where if you can go in, if you see something that's not right, we want you to let us know about it as soon as possible, because again, you as the local expert is going to know more than we do. But that being said, we strive for accuracy. It's one of our top goals.
Sure. So just to clarify, because this information is pulled from Armless or pulled from the MLS, the percentage of the information, the house not being on the market any longer or already sold, you're not going to have properties on here that have been sold 6 months ago.
No, we shouldn't. That would indicate to me, obviously, there's something different broken. But like from the MLS, for instance, we pull fresh data every 15 minutes.
Oh, say that again. How often?
We're pulling from the MLS in particular every 15 minutes.
Wow.
That being said, and then there's obviously a cache of data, to actually update. So I tell someone, if you make a change and in 20 minutes you don't see the change, give us a little time. If a whole day goes by and something hasn't changed, that to me indicates there's an issue because that's how fast we're updating stuff, and to let us know. So, but from the MLS in particular, we're pulling every 15 minutes.
That's excellent. Okay, so if we have members who want to set up their RPR account for the very first time, do they do it from the desktop or from their phone?
I recommend doing it from the desktop if you can, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to sign out real quick. When you go to NARRPR.com, this is what you're going to see for the first time, and you just create a new account. And all it's going to do is ask you for your last name and your NERDS number. And of course, we've added different ways that you can find your NERDS number. And I always say there's a couple more. Obviously, you can call your state association or your local association, or you can call me because we can all find that for you. But that's all they need to do is to put their last name and their NERDS number and then set up their profile quick, and it takes seriously a few minutes. But I recommend starting on your desktop.
Okay. So last name, NERDS number, give you a little bit of time to confirm that the person requesting the information really is a realtor, and then they can immediately start watching the tutorials or creating reports. Is that correct?
Exactly, and that's what we say to do, exactly what you just said. Get in there and even pull up your own house and start messing around with the calculators, the evaluations, start running reports, do a comps analysis, all of that kind of stuff to get familiar because there's so much information in here. I didn't even touch on some of it because, there's just a lot.
There is. Yes. I know that we also have a lot of local RPR trainers available to answer questions as well. Lori, goodness, what a ton of information this morning.
Well, I hope that I didn't overwhelm everybody, but I get so excited talking about it, and you guys are my first training of the year, so I'm super jazzed about it.
Well, I think RPR is one of those gems that until you really get in there and start pulling out the information in hands-on training, you really kind of miss the whole beefiness of the site.
I agree. You have to get in there and start messing around and see a few things, and then start using it, and then it's definitely the world is your oyster for sure.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for joining us today and for the overview of RPR. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for having us. And don't hesitate to ask questions. And then I sent you over that information as well on that class, if you'd like. That was extended for you.
Oh, excellent. So I will send that out to our members. RPR ran, or NAR offered a discount or something yesterday that ended yesterday, and Lori was gracious enough to reach out to her people and say yes, that we can extend that to today's listeners. So I will be sending out an email later this afternoon letting everyone know about that as well.
Awesome.
Lori,
thank you for doing that.
Oh, sure. Any wrap-up words you'd like to say?
No, I just thank you for listening today, and don't hesitate to contact us with questions or ideas. A lot of these upgrades in RPR come directly from members' ideas, so we welcome that.
Wonderful. And again, the website is narrpr.com, correct?
Got it. You got it.
Sounds great. Well, thank you very much, and have a good day, and stay warm.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.